What's good, racing world? This is Mr. Matt Racing. My name's Matt Dobbs, and this is a new edition of Time Trial Tuesday. This past weekend, NASCAR was at the Magic Mile in New Hampshire Motor Speedway. And I gotta tell you, Ryan Blaney made some magic, but Denny Hamlin is still at the top. Let's just get right into it. Starting off, we have the Cup Series. Ryan Blaney uses a two-tire call after a disastrous pit stop at the Stage 2 break and picks up win number 3 on the season and is second in the last 5 races, holding off charges from Bubba Wallace and Josh Berry in the process. But it was not enough in terms of the point standings as Denny Hamlin locks up the number 1 seed for the chase. But now the question will be, is this championship down to Denny Hamlin versus Ryan Blaney? I'm going to say not at all. I think there's still plenty of contenders left for this. I just think we happen to have hit a stretch of the season where all the tracks that were lined up recently just so happened to have fit Blaney and Team Penske in general. Think about it. 4 of the last 5 races have been won by Team Penske. 2 by Joey Logano and 2 by Ryan Blaney. But when you look at the rest of the schedule, Penske's not been the best on the intermediates. And there's quite a few of those in the chase. So Team Penske is going to have to figure something out with the bigger tracks in order to potentially make a run at this championship. So Denny Hamlin, to me, is still the odds-on favorite to win the championship this year. Finally, might I add. But needless to say, Team Penske could be knocking on the door if they can figure out these intermediate tracks coming up. Now, as far as to how this race played out is concerned, this race started in the wet conditions on the wet tires. NASCAR decided to throw a mandatory caution on lap 40 when they declared the track as dry. This meant that all the teams had to come down pit road in a non-competitive setting and switch from the rain tires to the slick tires, which is the tires that they use when the track is dry. But I gotta tell you, they definitely got this one wrong, and I'll tell you why. They took the strategy and the outlook of the race out of the hands of these drivers. They're pretty much coming out here saying, oh, on ovals, we don't get to let you decide when it's time to switch off the rain tires. We're going to bring you all in at the same time and keep everyone on the same page. Why? What's the point of that? On road courses, you allow them to decide when it's time to change from rain tires to slick tires. Why can't you do that for the short ovals? Like, it makes no sense to me at all. Like, worst case scenario, the driver tries to run long or they pit earlier than others, and the strategy ultimately doesn't work in their favor. But you gotta give them a chance at something. Like, there were some drivers up there in that top 10, for example, that were in dire need of some extra stage points throughout that race, and they were not given the fair opportunity to get those stage points they felt like they deserved because of the fact that NASCAR said, no, you're all in the same boat on this one. So right there, they definitely got that wrong. But I want to know what you think about that one. Let me know in the comments on that. Now let's go to the Craftsman Truck Series. Layne Riggs wins again. I got that one right, by the way. 6th win of the season for Layne Riggs, officially locking up the number 1 seed in the chase this year. And the chase bubble came down to 3 drivers separated by less than 10 points. Tyler Ankrum edged out Stuart Friesen and Jake Garcia to lock down that 10th and final spot in the chase. Their chase doesn't start till Bristol, however, so they're going to have a few weeks to get everything strategized and see how they're going to make a run at the championship. I guess the question I have for this week would have to be, who's going to challenge Layne Riggs? I've mentioned in the past the likes of Caden Honeycutt and Chandler Smith kind of entering their name into the conversation a little bit, but Riggs just went out there at New Hampshire and he pretty much just told everybody, hey, guess what? You need to step up your game, because I am here to stay. And I'll tell you what, it's definitely going to be tough to beat Riggs this year at the pace that he is on right now. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's going to be a little more difficult than people realize to stop Layne Riggs. Because even on some of his rougher races, most of the time he's salvaging good finishes. And that's what it takes to win a championship in this format. So yeah, Riggs by far is the odds-on favorite for this championship in the Craftsman Truck Series. But as we've seen in the past, you never know what to expect. We're going to have to see how these 7 races play out for that series. Now, what did you guys think about the racing from this past weekend at New Hampshire? Let me know in the comments below. While you're at it, leave a like, share this video, subscribe for more content. It's totally free, greatly appreciate, totally helps me out. Don't forget that little bell that notifies you when I upload. And then stay tuned for Fast Friday as we get you ready for the high banks of Daytona and we settle the chase fields for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series and the Cup Series once and for all. This week is their last chance. And also, stay followed and tuned in on my other socials, Instagram, TikTok, and keep my channel on Whatnot bookmarked. I got a big auction coming up on Monday, so you don't want to miss that. Until then, see you on the road.